start this meeting for the Plain Township Board of Trustees. If everybody could please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections for the agenda this evening?
I would like to add two concerns of trustees appreciation.
Any others? Seeing none, the agenda will stand with the amendment. We have quite a few beginning of the year resolutions, and we will start off with sending them over to, well, do I do these like this? Yes.
No, you do one.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute. All right, I will make the motion to be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees of Stark County, Ohio, to abide by parliamentary law and to conduct meetings according to the Robert's Rules of Order.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. I'll move on beginning of year resolutions, number 2.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
I'll make the motion for resolution number 3, be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees that all full-time and part-time employees are retained until the first meeting in 2026, except as the board may act as provided by law.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. I'll move on beginning of year resolution number 4, work rules and policies.
Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
I'll make the motion for resolution number 5 to observe the following holidays.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Resolution number 6, I will make the motion for the Plain Township Fire Department that will extend mutual aid.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Resolution number 7, resolution to authorize the fire department to provide assistance to other political subdivisions within Stark County for the purpose of providing mutual aid assistance in fire investigations.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. I'll move on beginning of year resolution number 8, public records training designee.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Mr. Hawes?
Yes, sorry. I literally.
It's okay. All right, resolution number 9, I'll make the motion for a resolution to appoint a representative and an alternate to the Stark County Council of Government. Hereby appoint Scott Hawes as the representative and John Sabo as the alternate.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 10, I will make the motion to authorize the submission of a request for advanced taxes collected at regularly monthly meetings of the Board of Trustees in 2025.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 11, I will make the motion for the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize the Plain Township Fire Department to provide assistance to other political subdivisions within Stark County through participation in the Stark County Hazardous Materials Response Team.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 12, I'll make the motion to waive applicable zoning fees for governmental agencies and other political subdivisions.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 13, I will make the motion for this resolution authorizing intent to dispose of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit township personal property via internet auction in calendar year 2025 for Plain Township.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 14, I will make the motion to enter into an agreement with Computech.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Sabo.
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 15, I will make the motion for a resolution to transfer funds between meetings.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Resolution number 16, I will make the motion for this resolution that allows that Plain Township Board of Trustees may sell property at private sales that are no longer needed.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 17, I will make the motion to designate Lisa Campbell as the prevailing wage coordinator.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Resolution number 18, a resolution to continue insurance benefits until the first meeting in 2026. I will make the motion.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Beginning of the year resolution number 19, a resolution to appoint and represent on the Tax Incentive Review Council. I will make the motion for Scott Hawes and John Sabo to be appointed to represent Plain Township on the Tax Incentive Review Council.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Resolution number 20, I will make the motion for a resolution to pay Stark County Regional Planning for 2025 annual dues.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Resolution number 21, a resolution to process payments between meetings. I will make the motion.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless,
yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Oh, and I said it too now, because you're making.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, we need to. It's been a tough week already. Resolution number 22, for beginning of the year resolution, volunteer firefighter board members, to appoint a chairman and board member for the fund board. Hereby appoint Brooke Harless as chairman and board member Scott Hawes and John Sabo as the board member for the 2025 volunteer firefighters dependent fund for Plain Township.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Mrs. Harless,
yes. And that ends the beginning of the year resolutions. We do not have anything under unfinished business or new business, so that'll take us over to the fiscal officer.
Thank you. Fiscal Officer number 1 is a resolution to authorize payment of pending warrants in the amount of $30,596.46.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is a resolution to authorize payment of regular payroll in an amount not to exceed $350,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is a resolution to authorize payment for the following medical claims.
So moved.
Second, discussion, roll call,
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4 is the bank reconciliation.
Any concerns?
No concerns, no.
Thank you, go ahead.
Fiscal Officer number 5 is a resolution to authorize the following transfer of funds.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call,
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 6 is the financial report.
If anybody has questions, please see Mr. Wolf after.
Fiscal Officer number 7 is a resolution to approve a sick leave bonus as stated in the negotiated contract for members of the Plain Township Firefighters Association as follows.
So moved.
Second, discussion, roll call,
Mrs. Harless?
yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 8 is a resolution to enter into the attached agreement with USI Consulting Group to complete the actuarial valuation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 9.833 and authorize payment from Fund 1000-110-360.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
That concludes the fiscal officer report.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. That will take us over to the sheriff's report. Good evening.
Good evening. For the sheriff's report, you guys should have copies of it in front of you, but calls for service for December, we had 830, was down 12.2% compared to 2023. However, crashes, we had 86, they were up 37%. Injury crashes were up 50% from the prior year. Alarms were up with 69, lower with 4%. Traffic stops in the township was the same as the prior year, 120, with 134 citations, which is up 30% from the prior year. We also had 43 arrests in December, which is up 16.3%. We've done 303 security vacation checks, and from the detective's report, he was assigned 4 cases and closed 4, 2 felony thefts, a burglary, and a shooting. You guys should also have the charts from comparison from last year as well as those several years prior.
Kept busy. If anybody has any questions, please see them after. I appreciate the report.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, that'll take us over to the administrator. Lisa?
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution to renew the traffic cloud software suite for the township's radar speed displays.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 2 is a resolution to accept the Otarma vehicle valuation claim for the VIN number listed in the amount of $15,033, which reflects the actual cash value, and to further authorize myself to sign the proof of loss form.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And that ends the administrative report.
Thank you, Lisa. That'll take us over to Chief with the fire department.
Thank you. Item number 1 is our monthly report. And one thing I wanted to note in there is our call for public services, which are like patient lifts. We've seen a growing trend. Our December calls were way up in that because of more people living at home, needing assistance, falling, whatever, maybe not injured to go to the hospital, but it's definitely a trend that we seem to be going to more of those.
So with that, seeing that trend, I mean, how does this, if it crosses over at all into a potentially robust, developing a robust paramedicine, or is it really something still separate and just traditional?
And that's what we've been trying to do. If we see continual falls for the same residents, we've been trying to go there, ask them if they need any assistance, you know, like the grab rails or anything like that to try to help them. But I just think there's more people living at home that are older, so, you know, maybe the spouse can't help the husband up because they're, you know, too big or too, you know, et cetera. So we get more calls like that. So it's yeah, you're right. I think that leads into that paramedicine thing of trying to go and see if maybe there's some help we can get them through the community or free or services, you know. So that's what we're trying to work on.
Thank you, Chief.
Item number 2 is a resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize purchase and payment for gasoline, oil, and diesel fuel from McIntosh Oil not to exceed $10,000.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And that concludes fire department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. That'll take us over to the road department. Drew?
Thank you. Item number 1 is the monthly report for review.
So Drew, on the breakout of the work order totals, is the resident initiated work orders part of a reporting function of the new web
Yes.
functionality?
Yes.
Is what that is?
And we can honestly track some more of those. We're just trying to figure out how to do that.
So is it 329 plus 30, or is
Yes,
that 30
329
within
plus,
the?
yes.
Okay, so it's 359.
Exactly. Yep.
That's actually nice. Is with the work order stuff that's coming in, I mean, has it been relatively, I don't want to say credible, but, you know, oh, that's a good thing it was pointed out, or has some of it been
As far as the residents,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's
Any
important
type of
to
petty
track that
complaints.
as much
Yeah.
as we can.
Well, I know it's important to track it, but I'm just wondering if any of the stuff that's coming in, like, yeah, that's not it.
Probably half of it's actionable,
Okay,
you know, and then, you know, we've already seen some, requests off the new website also.
Yep.
We had a
You
bunch
know,
over the
so all that
weekend.
stuff's working.
Good.
Once, you know, during the snow events, so
Mhm.
that's good.
Thank you, Drew, go ahead.
Road Department number 2 is a resolution to authorize purchase of payment to McIntosh Oil for gas, oil, and diesel fuel.
So moved.
Second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
yes,
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. Road item number 3 is a resolution to authorize purchase of payment to K-Tech Specialty Coatings Incorporated for beet heat concentrate, liquid deicer, not to exceed $20,000.
so moved.
Second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes,
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. Road item number 4 is a resolution to authorize purchase and payment to Cargill Incorporated for road salt pricing at $55.70 per ton per Plain Township's membership with the Community University Education Purchasing Council of Governments, amount not to exceed $115,000.
So moved.
second,
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
yes,
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. Road item number 5 is a resolution to certify township road mileage.
so moved.
Second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes,
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
That concludes road department.
Thank you, Drew. That'll take us over to the zoning department. Tom?
Thank you, ma'am. The first item on the agenda is monthly reports.
Good numbers. Thank you. Any questions for Tom? Please see him after. And that concludes.
That concludes zoning.
Nice and short tonight for you.
Yes, ma'am.
That'll take us over to the Parks Department. Rob?
Item number 1 is the monthly report.
Okay, anybody has any questions for him, please see him after. Go ahead.
Thanks. Number 2 is a resolution for payment to ag contractor and equipment for tune-ups and maintenance of parks mowers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
yes,
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 3 is a resolution for payment to Jerry Payton Turf Irrigation for tune-ups on zero turn in the groundmaster.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
yes,
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
That concludes mine.
Thank you, Rob. That'll take us over to our law director, Mr. Williams.
Thank you. I have one item on the agenda. It is an expedited type 2 annexation. It is a single owner annexation at 2904 Market Avenue, a little under half an acre.
Okay, so moved. Oh, wait.
Just for
Never
your
mind.
information.
Yep, never mind. Yep.
Yep.
Sounded like Scott over here with us, messing it
Yeah.
up. We're both, well, I know, we gotta get.
mantra of
It
everybody.
did. What were you gonna do?
But I mean, that parcel, I mean, because John, that's not too, that's right around the corner really. From you, I mean, it's pretty well surrounded,
It
that
is.
parcel by the entire city,
It's a
so.
peninsula.
Because I remember years ago being
Yeah.
like, where are you calling, where are you calling from? Like, no, that's the city.
It's
And it is,
peninsula.
so, you know.
The only connection
That's
is
the
the
only part
street.
that juts out, right?
It's the only connection that is the street
Yeah,
market,
yeah.
because that would be 29th. That's in the township.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Williams. If anybody has any further questions, please see him after. We don't have anything under communications. This will take us to the portion of the meeting for the public speaks, and we welcome any audience member who wishes to address the board. You may refer to our public speaks format that is located on the back desk. You can approach the podium or stay seated, whichever you prefer. Please provide your name and address to the fiscal officer for including in the minutes. Please note that in accordance with Plain Township regulations, each speaker is allotted 3 minutes to ensure all viewpoints are heard effectively. fostering fairness and accommodating diverse perspectives within the allotted time frame. Keep in mind that this is not a question and answer format, but an opportunity to speak. The board respects the rights of citizens to present differing opinions, views, and criticisms. Both the board and citizens are expected to respect the comments of others while maintaining the highest levels of decorum. All right, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board?
I'm just curious, what happens if one of you says no?
As long as there's a 2-to-1 vote, it's a majority, there's what, maybe only less than a handful of things that could potentially ever come before us where it's, has to be unanimous, but sort of the reality is, I mean, what you hear, motion, second, roll call, our department heads have conversations with us individually, or we're checking in ahead of time, so honestly, the meetings tend to be more so of a procedural formality, so.
So that one person would disagree with the other two?
Yeah, I mean, it could be any, it could be any combination. You know, a perfect example would be, probably the most contentious thing that would come before us typically would be zoning type hearings and so forth. And one of us may disagree on taking something from, you know, single family residential to multi-unit residential, or going from residential to light business, or from business to industrial or something like that. So, but typically by the time even something like that comes to us, on a lot of the zoning stuff, it's went before one of our zoning boards, whether it's zoning appeals or zoning commission. Sometimes you have Stark County Regional Planning as well that's opining on something. So by the time it comes to us,
It's resolved.
we have the final say on that. You know, the zoning board and regional planning, they're almost like recommendations to the board. You know, we're not bound, but you know, how that information comes to us, you know, there's limited opportunities where it typically is a split or a mix of opinions between regional planning and our zoning, or something like that. So that, otherwise, you know, hey, we're up here agreeing to pay bills and, you know,
Get salt and.
take care of stuff like that. So
I was just curious.
I wish it was a little more, you know, fun, but like the stuff that Brooke was leading through, a lot of the beginning of year resolution stuff, that only happens one time a year. We just have to recommit to those things. So honestly, it's just trying to pop through that. And then the monthly reports, again, that's all information that, you know, as a taxpayer resident, you're welcome to have a copy of, and so forth. But again, just because of how we individually interact with the different department heads at points, we're coming in, you know, if we had no discussions prior to, it would probably be a lot lengthier meeting, but, you know, and you'll go to some communities and it'll absolutely be like that, and no offense, but I don't think any of us are into torturing each other like that, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yep.
And thanks for keeping the roads clean.
Thanks for, coming out.
Concerns of trustees.
Yeah, so two things, appreciation. So I had an occasion today to use the website, and I know we've talked about how nice the website is, but today was the first day I actually had to use it to look up something. You know, before I was just kind of gravitating through, saying, hey, this is nice. But I was impressed with how smooth I was able to find what I was looking for. So again, I just want to, and we said that before, but I just wanted to reiterate, I know you guys have done a lot of work on this, but when you look at it, it looks crisp, it's easy to follow. You guys have looked over it to make sure of its accuracy. So again, I just wanted to extend my appreciation, our appreciation for that, because quite honestly, I think we would all agree with that.
That's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
The heavy lifting was done by Lisa, we just followed her lead.
Yeah, but still, you have to look at it, and you need, you know, several pairs of eyes on it to make sure that, you know, nothing falls through the cracks. So.
I would just, I mean, with all the work that's went into it, I would just say everybody keep a keen eye on what's keeping it clean and lean, because the old site got so darn bogged down, because oh, let's just add this out there, let's add, and honestly, we know from the page traffic, there's only a certain amount of those pages that really get heavily, you know, we can't be everything to everybody, so keeping it lean and clean makes for a better, you know, resident or prospective business owner experience, so again, good work.
Yeah, and then secondly, I just wanted to publicly thank everybody everybody in the offices, everybody here, from the time my sister actually went into the hospital until she passed. I can't tell you how important it is for those people that either personally extended their condolences, texted, emailed, cards, flowers, visitation. It was just amazing. And, you know, we did have her service on Sunday, which was really nice. We had a really nice turnout. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate, and my family appreciated that support. So on behalf of our family, I just want to thank everybody. Thank you.
Any other concerns of trustees? All right. No, there's nothing under the concerns of fiscal officer. So that will take us over to the approval of the minutes. I will make the motion to approve the meeting minutes for December 23rd.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes. All right, that'll take us over to the approval of a special meeting on January 7th. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes. We do have a need for an executive session. I will make the motion, be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn to executive session at 6:27 PM from this regular meeting of the Plain Township Board of Trustees as authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121-22G for the purpose of the consideration of preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
Second.
Discussion?
Both.
Roll call.
Yeah.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.